Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Michelle if you're new here. I'm a 20-something living and working in New York City, and I share this channel with my sister Aline, who is my sister, my best friend, and also my roommate, and we usually vlog our lives living in the city. Today I'm going to be sharing some of my favorite thrifted and secondhand home finds with you guys. I've been finding that when I do home content on TikTok, I get a lot of really good engagement, a lot of really great questions, and just general excitement about like that style of content. So I feel like we need to bring some more home content to the YouTube channel. It's definitely a healthy mix of stuff that I found at thrift stores, at flea markets, on Facebook Marketplace, at vintage shops, on Etsy. I usually dabble in all areas of secondhand shopping. New York doesn't really have the best thrifting scene, so I usually tend to rely on more like vintage stores and flea markets like the Grand Bazaar that I go to. But I have collected quite a few beautiful secondhand things over the years, and I'm starting to become really proud of the home that I've created and all of the work that I've put into making this apartment feel like a home, and all of the energy that's gone into the interior design of this space. Okay, so we're starting off really strong with this gorgeous brass kettle that I picked up when I was in Boise, Idaho with my sister visiting her girlfriend Elise, and we stopped by the antique mall there, which, first of all, the antiquing in Idaho was so good. This antique mall had such beautiful vintage finds, and this was one of them, and I just think that it's so perfect. Absolutely love the blue and white ceramic details on this one as well. I've been so passionate about bringing more brass details into our kitchen. I think that sometimes in a New York City apartment the kitchens can look a little bit soulless, and I think that brass details like this just really add warmth and bring it to life. And Elise's sister Ashley, who we stayed with, had so many beautiful brass details in her kitchen, and I was very influenced. So this is definitely a top fave. I've kind of gotten into the habit of collecting kettles and teapots. There's just something about them that I find enchanting. My next favorite is this beautiful vase, which we call the Nick Parker vase because we actually were very inspired by Nick Parker's stunning Napa like ranch style house in The Parent Trap. I really find a lot of home inspiration from movies and just general media that bring me a lot of joy, and I think that that's such a great way to not only get home decor inspiration but also personal style inspiration, is to like really hone in on what movies and TV shows you really love and what you love about the visuals, because there are absolutely so many elements of both Nick Parker's and Elizabeth James homes that I just am enamored with. So we were rewatching The Parent Trap, as you do, and both me and my sister Aline pointed at a vase that he had. I'll see if I can find a screenshot somewhere, but I think the next day we were walking by a little thrift shop on the Upper West Side called Unique Boutique, which sometimes is very much a miss, but clearly a hit this time. And we saw this in the window, and it was just it aligned so perfectly with what we were envisioning via Nick Parker inspiration, and it's just so beautiful. It looks so good with flowers in it as well, specifically sunflowers on a beautiful tablescape, but it also looks really nice just living on our bookshelf, adds some color, some character to our space. That's something that was really important to me when going into decorating this apartment. We were trying to move away from like a very charmless, mass-produced, stale looking space, and we really wanted to add more color, more vibrancy, and more comfort and hints of like coziness. Have it still feel homey and not like a movie set, as I reference a literal movie set item. But yeah, I think that this does a really good job at adding some whimsy to the space. And yeah, if you're on the Upper West Side, I definitely recommend popping into Unique Boutique. Sometimes you really have to sift through a lot of misses, but you can find a Nick Parker vase. This next item involves the little lady sleeping here behind me. It is this perfect cat basket. I guess any animal could really reside in here, but we do have a cat. That's Birdie back there, another co-star on the channel, and it's just the most perfect basket that I could have ever dreamed of. I found this in a Goodwill. I believe that Goodwill has since closed on the Upper West Side. It was in the West 70s and I think it's shut down. It was usually not that great, but I found this for like $5 and it's in pristine condition. It's so beautiful, and again, it adds another like beautiful texture, beautiful warmth and coziness to our space, and it fits perfectly in our TV stand. There's a couple of shelves in our TV stand. I'll add some visuals, and this fits perfectly on the first shelf, so Birdie can access it and have a cozy little time in there. I will say she doesn't sleep in it super often, and we did try putting a blanket in here to see if she would use it more, but she, I think, likes the texture and the feeling of the wicker, because she was not interested in the basket when it had a blanket inside. But she does still enjoy napping in it from time to time, but as you can see here, she's far more content just sleeping on my bed. So, but still such a perfect basket. I'll definitely be hanging on to this one, and if Birdie ends up rejecting it, maybe one day I'll have like a tiny little dog or another cat that'll enjoy sleeping in it. But it's just so beautiful, and I can't believe it was like $5. Hello everyone, I had to pop into this video really quickly because I received a super exciting package that's very much home related. Living in a pre-war apartment that does not have central air and kind of being forced to ruin your cottagecore aesthetic with an eyesore of an AC unit. So let me show you guys really quick what just got installed. I'm so excited, especially because summer is fully here in New York City. Okay, you guys, I'm so excited because we actually just got this Windmill air conditioning unit all set up, and it's absolutely stunning. I've been dreaming about this air conditioning unit for so long. I feel like we've had this like really big, bulky, ugly one for so long, and this one is just a total game changer for the space. It's somehow modern and retro at the same time, but also just so subtle that it doesn't take away from this little corner setting. One of the best things about this air conditioning unit, and one of the main reasons why I was so drawn to it, is that it blows the air up, which is huge because you'd be sitting on the couch and it would just completely blast you. And as you can also see, it's super quiet, so when we're watching TV, when we're having dinner, it's just so subtle and just absolutely a game changer. So a huge thank you to Windmill Air for sending that over. Y'all have just completely changed our lives, especially with another very hot New York City summer coming upon us soon. So just wanted to shout them out really quick in case you're having a similar struggle to us. It's iconic. I talked about my obsession with collecting kettles and teapots, but another item I just simply can't resist are candlestick holders. This is just an item that I absolutely love. I think it adds so much whimsy to a space, and there's so many different styles. I think on a table, on a shelf, they just really add a beautiful detail to any space. These specifically are Lenox Symphony candlestick holders. I got them at the Chelsea flea market. They're so beautiful. I love the really unique shape of them and the little gold detail. I think they're so charming. I think that these ones kind of give a little bit of Elizabeth James energy, and I think they're really elegant. So absolutely love these. The Chelsea flea market is also such a well curated flea market. I love the Grand Bazaar because it's my neighborhood. It's super accessible to me. I can walk there, but the Chelsea flea market I usually find to have, one, a little bit better prices, and two, probably a lot more selection depending on obviously the weekend that you go and what vendors are there. But I've had a lot of luck there, and these candlesticks, I think that if I had to choose, there's another one that I probably would want to share in another video, but I think that these are definitely a star student. I feel like I've received a lot of love on my headboard recently, and I always feel so proud to share that I actually found it on the street. It was such a I manifested this moment because I got a bed frame without a headboard, and for a really long time was like, I don't want a headboard, I don't need a headboard, I like a clean bed look with just pillows and then maybe a big piece of art. And I hung up this piece of art and I thought that it would complete the bed area, and it just still looked really empty. It felt like something was missing, and it just was giving kind of dorm room energy rather than like this like serene minimal space. I had been looking at a ton of like brass and wire bed frames, and I was just like, oh man, did I just make a massive mistake by getting a bed frame without a headboard. I just spent the money on it, I just assembled it, and I liked everything about it, but was getting kind of instant purchase regret. And not shortly after, I ended up finding this stunning metal headboard, and it's just exactly what I wanted. It looks so good with the style of my room. I wanted to keep my bedroom a little bit more feminine, a little bit more romantic than the rest of the house. I wanted it to feel very classic, very French inspired, and this headboard ended up being the perfect final piece of the puzzle in this general vicinity of my bedroom. And yeah, it's a little bit scuffed and scraped. It's not in perfect condition by any means, but it's nothing super noticeable, and it kind of adds into a little bit more of a lived-in homey feel. Gave it a very good scrub down and disinfected it, but it's beautiful and I'm super happy with it. But I was also so relieved that it was light enough and also close enough to my apartment that I could carry it back home without too much difficulty, because sometimes I see the most beautiful things on the street. Like, I saw the most stunning solid wood dresser, and it's just so tricky because I could never carry that home, even if I had like my sister helping me. I also live on the 5th floor without an elevator. There have been so many stooping losses, but thank goodness this one was a success. The next couple things that I want to talk about, I'm going to show you via B-roll because I can't exactly like hold them up and display them to you here sitting on my bed. So the first thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is my gallery wall in the living room. This is probably one of my favorite features of the apartment. I think that it came together so well, and something that was really important to me when decorating this apartment was I didn't want to cave into trends too much, because I've done that so much. I'm actually so highly susceptible to being influenced by other people and influenced by trends. So I wanted to try to keep things as classic as possible. Like, I definitely have a very cottagecore aesthetic, but I didn't want to lean into it too much that if cottagecore isn't a trend anymore one day and it's like considered highly out, obviously I wanted it to still be aligned with just my personal taste and things that bring me a lot of joy. Not saying that if cottagecore isn't in style, I'm not going to be into it, because I think that I have a lot of cottagey influences regardless of it being like a little bit more trendy. I wanted to still keep things looking classic and timeless, and also just trying to pay attention to what makes me happy and makes me feel good. So that was definitely top of mind when putting together this gallery wall in the living room, and I think it's so cute. I wanted to call out a few of the pieces that are on this wall. Probably one of my biggest pride and joy items is this etching. That's actually a Renoir etching. It has a certificate of authentication, so I choose to believe that it's authentic, but who knows, it might just be like a recreation, but it looks like it's signed and authentic and everything. That's definitely an item that I could not believe that I found, and I think I purchased it for like $25. And whether it's authentic or not, I still love it regardless. I love the little sketch. I told my sister like, oh, that's you and me with bonnet. And the frame and matting were in perfect condition, and just really added this like beautiful vintage ornate look to the gallery wall. 4 of these little paintings are from Etsy. I find Etsy an absolute gold mine for vintage shopping, and these 4 little paintings are actually from England. I got them from a seller called Miss Vintage Box. I'll put her little handle here below, and she has such beautiful stuff. I did pay quite a bit for shipping. I think I paid like $65, but to me it was a worthwhile investment to put that money into some beautiful art for my home, and the fact that it's secondhand and vintage also makes it a lot more special. So definitely love those 4 paintings. And then the ship is from the Grand Bazaar, and this tiny little still art Cezanne replica is from the Boise Antique Mall, as well as the kettle. The 2 little mirrors are also from Etsy, so I'm a big Etsy stan when it comes to decorating your home. Highly recommend. Okay, so I know I talked about my obsession with kettles and teapots, and then we've got candlesticks, but I think that the #1 spot has got to go to lamps. There's something about ambient lighting that makes me so incredibly happy. It puts me at ease. It just like screams your home to me. There's nothing I hate more than overhead lighting, and I knew that when we moved into this apartment that lamps were gonna become huge for us. We are incredibly blessed in this New York City apartment to have a window in every single room. That's something that like you really don't see too often. You usually just have the main windows at one side of the apartment and then the rest is like pretty dark. But I will say that the windows that are looking onto another building definitely don't bring in too much light. When it's not those peak hours, it can definitely get a little bit gloomy. So I wanted to bring in as many lamps as the space would contain. And this Tiffany style lamp is a piece that I think really completes the space. Tiffany style lamps bring in so much warmth and again color, character, whimsy, and I also think that it doesn't really overpower the space. I found this one on Facebook Marketplace for around $60, which was a really good deal considering that the seller volunteered to drop it off to me, so that was amazing. One of the other struggles about Facebook Marketplace is going and picking up the items and then carrying them home and then getting them up the 5 flights. I guess I say 5, but it's more like 6. Can be quite a hassle. So whenever a Facebook Marketplace seller is willing to drop the item off, it's just that much more worth it. And yeah, I just love this Tiffany style lamp so much. When it came to the inspiration for our home, I know I mentioned looking at media. Another huge inspiration for our space was Birdie and You've Got Mail's apartment, and of course Kathleen Kelly, but specifically Birdie, who our Birdie is named after, because You've Got Mail is a favorite in our house. But Birdie's home is just the epitome of like cozy character, but still with a lot of like classic elements. Very homey, very chic, and she doesn't, I don't think, have a Tiffany style lamp, but she does have a lot of warm ambient lighting, a lot of like plates and added like texture and color on her walls. So I think that having a unique light source definitely brought in a little bit of that vibe into our space. Okay everybody, I could keep rambling about this topic for hours, but we're gonna leave it here for today. Please let me know if you'd like to see a part 2 of this video, because the majority of the stuff in my apartment is secondhand and it's taken me years to curate it. Me and my sister moved into this apartment in January in 2021, and it really has taken a true few years to really curate and collect and intentionally decorate the space. So yeah, I have many more secondhand home items that I could share with you guys, but hopefully you enjoyed the ones I shared with you today. Let me know your favorite down below, and yeah, let me know if I should do more content like this. We're going back to Montana next week, so I think we're gonna do a little vlogging there. There's gonna be a lot of thrifting going on, so let us know what you'd like to see. Yeah, super excited to go thrifting because it's been quite a minute. I feel like I've slowed down. My space feels relatively complete, so I'm excited to maybe find a few touches that I've been wanting to add. But yeah, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and comment down below if you like it, and if you're not subscribed already, feel free to stick around. I will be probably doing a lot of Instagram stories while I'm in Montana, so if you want to follow along, you can follow me and Aline on Instagram and TikTok as well. We both want to do more TikTok content, so follow us there for potentially more fun content coming in. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.